Hello, Saints. We're looking at chapter 3 of the book of Revelation, and we're looking at the verse there in 21 that says, "To him who overcometh I will grant him to sit with me in my throne, just as I have overcome and sit with my Father in his throne." This verse, to Laodicea, is what's called a dual-directional text. This text points back not just to Laodicea, but across the seven churches, back to the first. It also points us forward to the next section of the book, which is dealing with the seven seals. In the seven seals is the church age overcoming. It begins with the four horses of giving the gospel to the world. It starts off glorious with the white horse, conquering to conquer, spreading out the message of the gospel, slaying those for Jesus. But the red horse, the horse of persecution, slows it down, and then the black horse, which is the horse of famine for the Word of God. And worse, even there, the next horse is the horse of death. So the saints under the altar in the fifth seal cry out to God, "How long, O Lord, until you judge?" They don't see the gospel having the power that Paul says it has in Romans chapter 1. And they're wondering, where is the power? Where is your justice? Where is this going to come together? And we see in the next seal, those who are not for God, who see Jesus coming in the clouds of heaven, and calling for the rocks to fall on them, to hide them from the face of him who sits on the throne. And the last words are, "Who is able to overcome?" Are you? We see that in chapter 7. Chapter 7 is the 144,000. They overcome. Now, I'm not going to go into a dissertation about it. There's some different views out there on how how the 144,000 are explained. I don't want to get into that here. But I do want us to see, around verse 15, the culmination of the promise to sit with Jesus on his throne. It says here, verse 15, "For this reason they are before the throne of God, and they serve him day and night in his temple. The one seated on the throne will shelter them." Other translations read, "The one who sits on the throne will spread his tabernacle over them." He brings us into his home. He brings us into his throne. We are there. That's the promise consummated there, that we are with Christ. To him who overcomes. So whatever you think life is, or the church is, and how bad things are you staying with Christ? Are you an overcomer? Are you continuing to have faith in him? Because if you do, you're to be the one there before the throne that he spreads his tabernacle over. Blessings.